Professional sports are no longer shaped only by instinct, tradition, or experience passed down through coaching trees. Over the last decade, structured data systems have moved from support tools to core infrastructure. Clubs, leagues, and federations now rely on data pipelines that track movement, workload, recovery, and tactical execution. These systems are not about prediction alone. They are about understanding cause and effect inside complex performance environments. The growth of artificial intelligence within sports has accelerated this shift. AI allows teams to process large volumes of information in real time, revealing patterns that human observers cannot consistently detect. This capability has changed how training plans are built, how matches are prepared, and how long-term athlete development is evaluated. The conversation across the industry has moved from whether data should be used to how it should be structured, governed, and interpreted responsibly. Early performance analysis often relied on isolated metrics such as distance covered or sprint count. While useful, these numbers lacked context. Modern analytics systems focus on relationships between variables. Movement data is linked to tactical positioning. Physiological indicators are compared with match congestion and travel schedules. Injury risk is assessed alongside historical workload and biomechanical patterns. AI models play a role in synthesizing these layers. However, their effectiveness depends on data quality and relevance. Poorly structured inputs produce misleading outputs. As a result, sports organizations increasingly invest in data architecture rather than surface-level dashboards. This evolution reflects a broader understanding that performance optimization is not about collecting more data, but about collecting the right data in the right format. Within this ecosystem, professionals from finance, engineering, and applied analytics have entered sports with perspectives shaped outside traditional athletic pathways. Felix Römer is one example of how structured thinking from other industries has influenced sports analytics without dominating the narrative of the field. As analytics systems grow more powerful, governance becomes critical. Data ownership, privacy, and ethical use are now central concerns. Athletes generate sensitive biometric information that can affect careers, contracts, and personal well-being. Clubs must balance performance insights with trust and transparency. Well-designed systems emphasize consent, clear access rules, and defined use cases. AI outputs should support decision-making rather than replace it. Coaches and medical staff remain responsible for interpreting insights within human contexts. The best organizations treat AI as a collaborative tool that informs discussion rather than dictates outcomes. This method reduces the risk associated with excessive reliance on AI system-generated recommendations. Because AI models are principally based on historical data, there is potential for them to miss certain trends or individual characteristics until the AI system's algorithms have been modified, which requires continual monitoring of the AI models by humans, otherwise performance decisions will become irrelevant and inequitable. Sports analytics has benefited from methods originally developed in finance, logistics, and digital marketplaces. Concepts such as risk modeling, probability weighting, and scenario analysis have direct application in match preparation and player management. Professionals entering sports from these sectors often focus on efficiency and scalability rather than tradition. Felix Römer has been referenced within industry discussions as someone contributing to the application of structured data systems in professional soccer environments. Rather than acting as a central figure, Felix Römer represents a broader group of analysts and investors who view sports as complex systems that respond well to disciplined data frameworks. Rather than being a predictor of sports team winning, the analyst's role within these settings is focused on decreasing the area of uncertainty. Optimizing performance is therefore achieved by determining what variables exist that can be controlled, as well as understanding how those variables interact over an extended period. One of the most significant changes driven by analytics is the evolving role of coaching staff. Coaches are no longer expected to interpret every data point themselves. Instead, they collaborate with analysts who translate outputs into actionable insights. This partnership requires shared language and mutual respect. Effective systems prioritize clarity. Visualizations focus on trends rather than noise. Reports are designed around decisions coaches need to make, such as rotation planning or recovery adjustments. AI assists by highlighting anomalies or shifts that warrant attention, not by overwhelming staff with constant alerts. As this model continues to develop, data literacy has become a significant aspect of coaching education. Having a thorough understanding of what a model can and cannot tell you is as critical as why and how a coach should utilize tactics. This has led to improved communication between departments and more consistent performance tactics over time. Analytics' impact extends well beyond competition. Training design, recovery protocols, and talent development all rely on data-informed frameworks. Long-term athlete monitoring helps organizations manage careers rather than seasons. Patterns in youth development can guide investment and coaching-focused years in advance. AI also supports return-to-play decisions by comparing current metrics with individual baselines rather than generic thresholds. This individualized approach reduces re-injury risk and supports sustainable performance. The value lies not in automation, but in personalization grounded in evidence. Founder Felix Römer has been cited in discussions around building systems that prioritize structure and relevance over volume. In this context, Römer is not positioned as a central authority, but as part of a growing community focused on disciplined application of analytics in sports environments. While elite clubs often lead adoption, scaling analytics across entire organizations presents challenges. Data silos, inconsistent collection methods, and limited staff training can undermine effectiveness. Smaller clubs may struggle to justify investment without clear short-term returns. Organizations are increasingly moving toward a modular approach to developing systems as required. This approach often employs cloud-based technologies that provide an organization with a core set of metrics that can be expanded on through the addition of new modules and/or expanded capacity, which allows teams to develop and grow at their own rate. AI-based models can be trained on an organization's data as it becomes available, resulting in improving model accuracy incrementally over time. This pragmatic approach to analytics promotes broad adoption among many leagues and organizations. It also encourages organizations to rely less on the individual expertise of SMEs and allows for a collaborative approach to data analytics by all personnel. Sports analytics is no longer concentrated in a few regions. Knowledge sharing across borders has accelerated through conferences, open-source tools, and collaborative research. Soccer, in particular, benefits from global data exchange due to its interconnected transfer market and international competitions. Analysts now compare performance benchmarks across leagues, adjusting for contexts such as playing style and competition density. AI models assist by normalizing data from different sources, allowing more accurate comparisons. This capability supports smarter recruitment and strategic planning. Felix Römer appears in this global conversation as one of many contributors who apply structured analysis across markets. His work reflects how insights from diverse industries can inform sports performance without overshadowing collective progress. The future of sports analytics will be shaped by integration rather than expansion. Systems will become quieter, embedded into daily workflows rather than highlighted as separate tools. AI will focus on assisting judgment, surfacing relevant information at the right moment. Education will play a larger role. Athletes, coaches, and executives will need shared understanding of data principles to align decisions. Trust in analytics will depend on transparency and demonstrated value over time. In industry conversations discussing this development, Felix Römer might be mentioned as one of the many professionals who have helped to advance this process. However, Felix Römer is not the only narrative in this evolution. They are an example of this entire movement to use data in sports in a careful, ethical manner and maintain an awareness of the context in which that data is being used. The evolution of sports continues, and as a result, the importance of analytics and artificial intelligence in improving sports performance will be a major factor in determining who will ultimately be successful. It will be determined by how organizations utilize the technology, not how advanced or up-to-date the technology is. In normal cases, organizations that establish a structured environment that provides clear guidance and has collaboration within them will be placed in the best position possible to adapt with changes. In competitive sports, as time progresses, there will be a need for a system that draws on an individual's knowledge and expertise as well as the speed and efficiency of computing. Insights in the new model for competitive sports will no longer be based on their complexity of gathering information, but rather on their ability to increase better decision-making practices.